we have been an organization for 2 years, and we have tried very hard to attain new equipment, bring to the public's attention the inequities and inefficiencies of the system, and we have run into many roadblocks, you might say. So this is the end of the action, and the traveling public, you may say this, the only time that the FAA has acted with any positive action is immediately after a mid-air collision. Now I ask the public this, do you want a mid-air collision over downtown Dallas in this area before we have action, or do you want the action now?
Would you please enumerate what the specific complaints are that your controllers have against the FAA?
2 years of inaction in the way of equipment, personnel. The personnel complement is not increasing to any degree at all. It is in the Dallas-Fort Worth immediate area. You might say they're pretty fat on personnel, but to do this, they have starved the rest of the region. The Houston area is critically short. Houston Approach Control is critically short. Albuquerque is short of personnel. Their grade level is not what they are here. They do the training and ship the people out to this area here to work.
Now, why have the funds been cut off?
Due to a report by one of their inspectors, a Mr. Ball, who covers this institution. Now, although we are licensed by the state, we've met all the standards set forth by the state for the operation of a home of this type. This one particular individual had held us in a constant state of harassment over small, minor items which could be corrected from one time to the other. He made his last inspection, which was unannounced, about 10 o'clock one morning, right in the middle of patient care, and found several discrepancies which he would have found any place had he gone there. He sent in his report to the state, and although we wondered why and questioned him on these particular ones, he said it didn't matter to him at all. Nevertheless, he sent in his report. The next thing we got was a letter from the director of the nursing homes from Austin saying that our funds were held up. So as a consequence, we had no alternative except to transfer these patients.
City fathers proposed to make this street a 4-lane thoroughfare with a middle left-turn lane. The widening of the street is contingent on passage of a $46.3 million capital improvement bond issue to be submitted to the voters in September. If the reconstruction of Westbury actually becomes a fact, it will possibly cause several merchants in the area to close their doors. A new thoroughfare would mean the elimination of head-end parking, limiting parking only to parallel parking in the area. The merchants say the move would not leave enough parking area for their customers, and they feel they cannot afford the construction of new parking lots. About 60 merchants are affected by the proposed reconstruction of the street as far as the head-end parking situation is concerned. A 1964 City Council policy calls for elimination of head-end parking on all reconstructed streets and also in the event of new building construction. A meeting of concerned citizens will be held next Tuesday night at Como High School. It's rather ironic. To some of the businessmen on this street, progress means disaster. Art Sinclair, Channel 8 News, Fort Worth.
My figures show that we registered better than 73,000 black people alone and approximately 11,000 Chicanos. So we can more than come up with the figures.
The white community should not be left out of this.
It has been said that Ed Polk
Did not draft the petition.
Did he have anything to do with it at all?
Ed Polk had nothing to do with the drafting of the petition or starting the movement.
Was he present during any of the meetings concerning it?
Ed Polk has not been present during any of the meetings concerning this.
The present hydraulic problem existing at the White Rock and Dallas sewage treatment plants must be corrected to enable both of these plants to be operated irrespectively of the stage of the Trinity River. In this connection, it is our feeling that the facilities required to effect this correction should be completed by January 1, 1972. The City of Dallas should submit to the Water Quality Board by June 1, 1970 a schedule complete with dates for the provision of the required facilities. The problem there is one in that since the facility is located adjacent to the floodplain, during high flood periods in the river, the effluent, although treated, simply can't get out.
Why would it take the other 2 years?
We're talking about some rather sizable lines, some high volume, although low head pumps. It would be a major construction project, is the only thing we could think of that would do the problem, because you simply couldn't relocate the plant. You're just going to have to lift the waste up and out into the floodplain.